Good morning. I've got that day after harvest is done high smile. Oh, it's a good deal. It's a good deal. I see him over on one of the fields we just finished on spreading fertilizer right now, so that's getting finished up. So that's a good deal. I took a little time this morning to catch up on some paperwork and bills and looking at some yield maps a little bit. Didn't really do anything with them, but I'm down at my house here. Was curious if anybody is working. They are not, but I want to look at that water heater. See if we, or water softener, not heater, softener. See if we can get that down in the basement and get it installed maybe, or figure out what parts I need to get it installed. So that's what I'm down here for. So here's what we've got. We gotta get it out of that box, which I'm guessing means we're gonna destroy that box because it's heavy. It's a big old water softener. Household size, 5+. I only have 4, but we're gonna put it in anyway. We have a lot of iron in our water here, calcium, so water softeners are a necessity. And this seems to be a pretty good one. 50,000 grain capacity. And it'll tell me when it's out of salt. That's what I need. So there we go. We got to get it out. It's going to sit somewhere right over there. I should get a mop and clean my floor. That's what I should do. So I'm going to need some fittings. I'm trying to figure out the best way to do this. This is our end of our plumbing system that we've got to tie soft water into. The outlets on this are backwards, but what are you going to do? So we got to come out from here and connect to that. We're going to come, this is the inlet side, so that'll come in, and then we're going to go that way. The pressure tank from the well stuff is going to sit over here. There's a little plug for that. This is where the water is going to come in through the wall. So that stuff is done there, easy. And then we've got a drain line here and an overflow here that's got to get connected. I think I can cut into that PVC drain line coming out of the water heater. It's just going into the sump over there. I think that's reasonable and makes sense to do that. So I'm debating whether I should try and run copper right up to this, whether I get a plastic fitting on there and do PEX into copper. I don't know. The easiest thing would probably be to just get a PEX fitting and run PEX and then put a solder on PEX adapter on there, and then the same thing over here with and whatever they need into the well pump. But I also have this line. This is the water line going out to the barn that needs connected, and we're going to do that on the inlet side, hard water or non-softened water going out to that hydrant, because there's no reason to put soft water out there. So I got a little plumbing to do and a little fitting gathering to get to figure out exactly how I want to do this. I'm also kind of debating whether I should put that whole unit on blocks like they did the furnace over here. Seems like that might be a good idea, just to get it up off of the floor, just in case we ever had water or something. It's plastic. It shouldn't hurt it at all, right? I mean, it should be fine. But having a little height on it might not be the worst thing. I don't know. I don't think about that. Remember I told you guys yesterday they were going to pour concrete today on stuff they hadn't started anything on yet? Well, truck's here. 11:43. I hope they're ready. They've been digging footers all morning, so should be. So they're going to put a footer down. It's 8-inch thick footer, and then they're going to put a 4-inch wall on top, which I hear the walls are going to be poured tomorrow. But then down here, we're stepping it down, and it'll actually be a 6-foot wall because the ground drops down so much that the footer wouldn't have even been in the ground. So they've got her trenched up real nice. Everything looks good. I come out here and bother them and ask questions, and they know what they're doing. Just stay the heck out of the way, right? So they do got to dig. I mean, they're pouring already, but they're not even done digging. They got to do this whole wall over here yet. So footers are easy because you just fill in the trench and get it close to level. It doesn't have to be finished or smooth or anything. You just go. Them guys are good. They're real good. He's got 2 buckets there for that little mini excavator. They're digging, the one to do the wide stuff and then a narrower one to do just the footer and man, it's back and forth. He's just switching them right from the cab. Them guys are good. They know what they're doing. I am a little bit concerned about that concrete freezing because they're pouring it and it's like 30 degrees out. But today is the last cold day. It is supposed to get cold again tonight. Concrete, when it's curing, generates quite a bit of heat, so I don't think first night you have to really worry about it freezing. It's after that. And tomorrow it's supposed to be in the mid-40s, and then by Saturday almost 60 degrees. So it should be fine. The stuff they pour tomorrow will be fine. Again, they know what they're doing. You know, doesn't mean you just blindly trust them, but you pretty much let them do their thing and stay out of the way. I went to get some fittings and stuff that I needed for this water softener installation. I just went to one of the local hardware stores, and they should have known better. They just didn't have everything that I need, or most of what I needed, and what they did have is ridiculously expensive. It's okay, support your local hardware stores, otherwise you won't have them. But I don't have nearly enough. I only had one valve. I need 3 plus a 1-inch one. They didn't have any of those. I did get a couple of T's, but I'm gonna have to place an online order for the rest of this stuff, I guess. So that is gonna go on there. We're gonna put a short piece of this pipe, put our valve in there for a bypass in here, put another T, and then we can come off of that T. We're gonna use PEX flexible to connect to here. This one connect to here, and then we'll have valves on both of those T's, and then we'll have another coming out of this side with another T that's actually going to be a 1-inch with a 1-inch 3/4 reducer, and then we'll come up with to connect to that PEX for the outside stuff, and then the 1-inch will come out of the pressure tank. So I just need to get the rest of the fittings to be able to do it, and like I said, I need 2 more of these valves. I need a 1-inch valve, I need a 1-inch T, I need the fittings to go on here to connect to the PEX. I need the copper to PEX coupler. Yeah, they didn't have the stuff. So we'll have to wait. So I know over the last couple of days, I've made it quite clear that I thought it was too wet to do any tillage and that we weren't going to get an opportunity to do some right now. But in my little adventure to the hardware store there, I saw several fields where neighbors have been out or were out doing some tillage. And it doesn't look too bad. So now I'm kind of thinking, maybe I should be doing tillage. And I feel like it's got to be getting frozen really hard at this point, but we might go do some. So they're still pouring concrete down there. I'm going to go check in on that. And then we're going to probably fire the tractor up and go to the field. Worst that can happen is we set it in the ground and we don't move and we come back. So what the heck? Let's try it. All right. Concrete's done and poured. They're just wrapping some stuff up. They're gonna set wall forms tomorrow and pour the wall. Cool. It'll be done. I started the tractor up here. We're gonna go to a field and see what happens. I'm 50-50 on whether or not this is gonna work, but if other people can do it, I should be able to too. So we're gonna go into a cornstalk field where Dad had been ripping before. It's well tiled. It's sort of almost done. We'll see if we can finish that up first. If that goes well, maybe we'll try some bean stubble. I'm much more skeptical on the bean stubble than the corn stalk, so let's see what happens here. All right, well, let's see what happens here. Either we move or we don't. Well, looks like it's gonna go. Our auto steer line's way off. How do I shift over right there? I'll have to make a round or two, see what it looks like. I was worried the ground would be too frozen and it would just kind of skate along on top. I've done that before. Does not appear to be that frozen, so that's good. Actually, it doesn't look too bad behind us. We'll see. So there's not a lot left here. Dad had just a couple of passes to finish up this side of this field, and then I don't know. We'll see what we're going to do from here. There's some bean stubble across the road that could be chiseled. Maybe we'll try that. If this goes all right, that might go. Every time I get in this tractor, it throws me off because the the SCV, the outlet numbers are not the same as in the 8R or the 8430 or any other tractor, because they all have a 3-point, which is in the number 1. This one doesn't have a 3-point hitch, so this is number 1. It's usually 1, 2, 3, 3-point hitch, and then 4 and 5. And here it's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and 6 if you have a 6. So we don't have a 6. Well, it's going okay here. There are a few soft spots where I've got to kind of lift out, and then it starts pushing mud with the tires on the ripper, but it's just where Dad piled some dirt last year. This is the spot where Dad was digging dirt out of that area where the water is last year and pulling it out onto the hills and stuff here, so some of it's pretty soft. Well, it's off now, but I have been getting a couple of times a air filter restricted warning from this tractor, which drives me crazy because it has a I don't know, cartridge style or I don't know, whatever style you want to call it, air filter in it that you can't really clean, and so you replace it. And Dad's already replaced it once this fall, and the thing lasts for maybe 100 hours before it's plugged up again, and these aren't exactly super dusty conditions, so that's why I don't care for that style. But if it comes on again, we might have to stop, shut the tractor off, and take it out and try and tap it out, or just make sure there's no trash or anything in it. But it's not much I can do to clean it. Well, I hope it's frozen pretty good, because we are mighty close to that water. And this ground is soft when it's not frozen. See if the water ice jiggles when we threw some dirt on the ice. It didn't break. Well, that was much better than I thought it was going to be there. Alright, well, we're just finishing up the end rows here. Like I said, there wasn't very much. We did a little strip here, a little strip over there, end rows on both sides. So we are going to jump across the road into that bean stubble field there and see if it'll go. I'm a little skeptical, but that would be better to get done than more corn stalks if we can get it done. We'll see. Plus, it's close and I don't have to fold up to get there. I don't think. There are a couple mailboxes. We're only about 20 feet wide. We should be fine. Pretty sure we'll be fine. So this is one of those fields that we tried to do one day, and it was way too wet, and you can see the squiggly combine tracks because we're sliding all over. So let's see what happens here. The bean stubble does not have near as much residue on it, which means that it's probably frozen harder. Yeah, it's definitely frozen harder. So we're kind of spinning a lot here. Let's see if it's just a spot or if we're going to break through or what the deal is, because I'm sliding all over just on top of the ground. We can't bite in. Our tires aren't able to get into the dirt dig. Now it's better. Just a hard spot there. So we'll see how it does. Try and get the worst of it or the best of it, or I don't know, whichever way you want to say it. But yeah, we were sliding all over the place trying to combine those beans, weren't we? Dad got back from his meeting he had this morning, and he called me a little bit ago just to see what was going on. I asked him, he had that air filter that he had taken out earlier this fall when he had changed it. It was sitting on the bench, so I asked him if he would try and clean that one up a little bit and bring it over to me. So we're going to swap them. It's beeped at me 3 times now since we've started, saying that the air filter is restricted, and it comes on for a little bit and then it goes away because the yellow light flashes and then it's not flashing, and so I don't know. But anyway, we're going to get up here to the end. We're going to idle the tractor down or shut it off after it cools down for a minute, and then swap those air filters out. Should keep us going. I guess that one's dirty. That'll do it. I hate this style because you can't clean them out very good, but this is the one Dad attempted to clean out. He said it weighs 1/3 of what it did when he started, so we're gonna put it in there and keep it. Well, this isn't going too bad. The worst of it is the ruts that I made on the end rows when we were combining that day that it was way too wet out here. And bouncing around them when I'm turning, so I don't know. It's working up pretty nice, really. I'm sort of surprised. We do have a muck pocket over here that's got quite a bit of ice over it. I somehow doubt we'll be going through that, but we'll see how it goes. We don't like to chisel or rip the muck pockets anyway. Kind of lift it up and just skim the surface a little bit, because that ground is so soft and fluffy as it is. All we want to do is bury the residue. I don't want to fluff the dirt up. So here's that muck pocket we were talking about. There's no water under this ice, and so I am not ripping it as deep. I'm going to show you on the display here what we're doing. We're going to hit this button that says muck, and then you're going to watch all those numbers change. Our ripper goes to 6 inches. Everything changes, and now we're pulling it sort of shallow. We're just burying that ice and making a nice, smooth, level, even seed bed, taking out any ruts that would be in there. Yeah, that's crazy. But we're doing it, and it's working pretty good. And then as we get out of the muck and we start climbing back up the hill, we hit the normal button, and it all readjusts. We go back to 8.5 inches deep, and now we're digging like we normally would. So next time we go through there, I will show you what the ripper does and how you can see it move just when I hit the buttons on the display. It's really pretty cool. All right, so we're coming up here again, so I'm just gonna keep the camera on the ripper. Watch the frame and the main tires compared to the disc gain. So right now, we hit the muck. See how the discs stay exactly where they are, but the whole ripper frame lifts up. And now we're going through that ice. Like I said, there's not really any water under it. We pull through it just fine. Just breaking that ice up, burying it. It's how we hydrate our ground, as we need it. Okay, and now we're getting out of it, so we hit it back to normal, and there it just sits right back down. And that's pretty awesome. True set. Getting dark now. I'm gonna keep working for a while. We might work kind of late tonight. Let's see. There's 90-some-ish acres in this field. We've got about 30 done, or just under. So it would take quite a while to finish it. I don't know if we'll get that far or not, but I would kind of like to finish this, actually. We might have a little bit of an opportunity in the morning to keep working. It is supposed to warm up to the high 30s tomorrow, and chances of snow and rain, so I doubt we'll be able to work all day, but we'll see. Well, we're still moving across here. Most of it's going pretty well. We got some pretty crazy ruts on the other side of the field I'm going to show you here in a minute, but I mean, we're making progress. It's going all right. I'm not upset with the job we're doing, but I'm a little nervous in spots like here. We're in some pretty soft ground, some muck that it's a little nerve-wracking, let's say, being down into some of the stuff. So I'm just picking the ripper up, and we're just skimming. We're really not going into it very much, trying to fill in the ruts that we created at harvest. This is the field that it was way too wet when we were out here, but it's the one that we were like, we've got to get this done because we're trying to move to Berkey. We don't want to have beans here to do when we come back, and so we just did it. And whether we should have just done it or not, I don't know, but we got it done, and I'm not proud of what we did out here. And so we're more willing to go into poor conditions in bean stubble because we knew that it would likely get ripped in the fall and the compaction issues would be somewhat alleviated, more so than corn stalks, where we don't necessarily rip them before we plant the beans next year. So I'll show you what I'm talking about. You'll see in a minute. Well, yeah, there's some ruts where we were squirreling all over the place with the combine, trying to keep it driving somewhat straight. And here's some more, some that got some ice in them. Yeah, you can see a little strip of beans because we couldn't keep the combine up there to get them, and then there's a big old mess over there that you can't see it yet. That there, I don't even know what the heck happened over there. Wow, did we make a mess with the combine? We're fixing it, kind of, sort of fixing it. We're trying to fix it. The tillage is certainly going to help. It's going to smooth it off and level it out, so at least we can get through it and plant next year. We probably did some long-term damage there that you're going to be able to see that compaction show up in the crops next year. But, well, we got the beans out. Level it out, Ripper. Slow down a little bit over those ruts. So I don't think you guys will be able to see it very well. But after I go through and chisel up where there's ruts like that, it really does look different. Like over there, it looks really nice, and we're getting a pretty small chunks, but nothing really big. But where I'm chiseling through and it's compacted, and we've got spots like that and that over there and stuff, it leaves it much rougher, much bigger clods. Doesn't break up near as well. That's just the compaction. So not much I can do about it. Hopefully we get a lot of freeze-thaw cycles over the winter, and those will break down a little bit, and then we'll hit them with the field cultivator in the spring, and it should still work up okay and make a decent seed then. But there's bound to be some deeper compaction that we're not able to get with this tool, and it's just is what it is. It's gonna take some time. There you can kind of see some of those chunks I was talking about. It's just, yeah. See right there's a little chunkier. That was where there was a rut. This is the pass right next to the one that I was just filming when I was going through that. So when we get up here a little bit farther, it might be a little bit more evident. But yeah, it's not good. It's just see that track right over there, and then this mess of whatever that was. Yeah. When we're done here tonight, we're gonna forget about this field until spring. Well, here's a big spot that we had to go around when we were harvesting. Do we have to go around it now is the question. Far. Oh, now it's getting a little. I've cheated it up, so we're not pulling very deep, but we are moving some dirt and getting through that. So I don't know if we'll go through that whole hole or not, but doing something. Taking the ruts out. Set it back down. And we're out of the muck, so we set the ripper down. Switch our depth settings. Keep moving. We're doing okay here. We're making progress. It's about 8:45 already. I think it's probably going to be between 11:30 and midnight before we get this field done. So be a late one. We might have pushed our luck too far here. I'm in a bad spot. I'm on the edge of it. I'm right on the edge of it. Oh, okay. This ripper is the wheels on it are not good, and they have sunk in and started plowing, and now I can't get out. We're gonna see what we can do here, but yeah, it's not good. I'm trying to lift everything up so that we're not dragging any more than we need to. Oh, we're still moving a little bit, but it's not good. I'm gonna have to let you guys down because I can't film this while I'm doing it. We wiggled it out. Oh my. I was real nervous there. That was a bad spot to be in. But I bailed it out. Now what do I do? Because we're getting into a bunch of stuff that is not good. Yeah, shoot. I don't know. Being dark here doesn't help either, so I really wanted to get this done. It's 9 o'clock. I don't know. We've got another spot right here that we had to go around harvesting, and just based on that pass where I sorted around it as it was, we've got to continue to go around it. And then there's another one up here that we've got to go around, so we might pull out here and call it a night, see if Dad wants to come back and mess with it at all in the morning, or just go to a different field and say we got what we could, and maybe we'll get another shot, maybe we won't. I don't know. Well, I found a little different area of the field that it's going okay here. I'm just kind of trying to get as much of it as we can. There's clearly going to be a few spots that we've got to go around, but there's a big wet hole over this ridge that we always farm around. We're up in this area right here, and that centerpiece we always farm around. That spot over there is where we almost got stuck. So we've just got some of these long rows over here. We're gonna see if we can do some of those. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, we're not gonna get it all, but we're gonna get what we can. I did look at our weather station. It is warming up, believe it or not. It's getting warmer still, even though it's dark. We're up to 36 degrees, so stuff is starting to thaw out. Obviously, it's gonna take a little bit of time before it's not frozen, but it's not freezing anymore, and it's not getting harder, and that makes it means it's getting softer and slimier and greasier, and doesn't help the situation at all. So another hour or two here, and we'll have most of this done that we can do, and I think that's going to be it until we get another chance at a freeze up. More tracks and ruts and the top of a hill with beans that we couldn't get up there to get because we tried from all three sides and couldn't get there. Things were going so good. They were going so good. Let's see, let me find a map. So we were over in here when we got almost stuck before. We jumped over and did this stuff, and then we've done all this, and now we're trying to fill in the gap. And I got too close again. And it's a little sketchy here. I think I'm gonna get out, but it's a little sketchy. We gotta do one of these turn numbers. I'm almost out of this. If we could just inch forward, keep turning. There it's digging. There we go. There we go. There we go. There we go. That's how we do it. And we're through. Note to self, don't go anywhere close to where I couldn't go with the combine, because you ain't gonna make it. There's not much left. Alright, well, this is the last pass I'm gonna be able to get out here in the field. We did okay. We covered a fair amount, very vast majority of this field. So, a lot of these little gray spots up here are just spots where I had to lift up a little bit. We actually kind of chiseled through them. We just didn't go as deep as we should have. There are some end rows along this ditch I am not going to do because that's really mucky. And this triangle here, I am also not going to do because it's muck ground, and we really should just hit it with a disc and not worry about working it. So I am going to do these end rows right here because they are along that house, and it's high ground there, and that's how we carted a huge amount of this field out of here. The beans all went out through those end rows with the grain cart, so they got run down quite a bit. So I'm gonna basically work my way up there. We're gonna do some end rows, and then we're gonna pull out of here. All right, we're pulling out of that field. See, we got a little mud. It's a dirt road, it'll be fine. There's a little piece down here on the end of this road that we're gonna go and finish up. Dad had left it when he was in there chiseling that field because we were shelling corn in the field next door and using that a corner to load trucks out of, and well, we're done with that, so it will only take me about 15 minutes to finish, so we're gonna go and do that real quick. Well, Dad left more out here than I thought. I thought it was just a little tiny bit up in the corner by the road that he left, but he didn't do any of the back end rows or the stuff on the side, so I'm gonna be here a little longer than 10 or 15 minutes. We are definitely losing our frost and our frozenness to the ground. You can kind of see, I don't know if you can or not, but it doesn't look super dry anymore. It's starting to look wet on top. That's because we're thawing out, so we'll be done as soon as we get this field done, and even now it's a little iffy. There's spots that are real greasy. Well, this area right here is what I was mostly concerned about. We loaded trucks right there, and every bushel of corn from this whole cornfield over here, 65 acres, went out through that one spot. So it had been run down pretty bad. Why didn't that go up? Why isn't that going up? There it goes. We're done. Fold her up, head for home. It is 11:30. All right. We made it. Well, we covered over 100 acres today, or around 100. So for starting at 1 o'clock, that's a pretty darn good day. Especially since I had no intentions of actually doing any tillage work today. I didn't think that was a real possibility. So we did real good. We're closer. We still have a fair amount of tillage that we would like to do if we get the opportunity. We've done nothing with hardly any corn stalks other than that one field that we finished chiseling today. So there's still a lot of stuff that could be done if we get a chance to do so. I just don't see that as a real good possibility. So thanks for watching today. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I don't know what's going on tomorrow. They're gonna pour walls for our new building, which is awesome. And so we'll check that out and stuff. I may spend the day on the road doing seed business stuff. I may not. I don't know. We'll see. So have a great night, everybody. Hit that like and subscribe buttons for me, please. And if you have any questions, comments, leave them down below. See you later.